Hey y'all, and welcome to Politabrawl. My name is Brian, and this MAGA firebrand shuts down media hack Wolf Blitzer live on his own show. Let's dive in.
Texas Republicans are arguing their redistricting push is about making the state more competitive. But you heard the president there say the quiet part out loud that he believes the GOP is, quote, entitled to 5 more House seats. Which is it?
Yeah, well, of course, I'm going to side with the president. Listen, I think what we're doing is right, is we need to have more representation. And I do believe the president is right. And I don't think what we're doing is breaking the law. We are just, for the first time in a long time, playing the same game as the Democrats have played for years. And quite frankly, they don't like it and they're not used to it. So we'll see how this turns out. But at the end of the day, I hope we pick up 5 more seats, right? I hope we pick up more seats in other places because our policies are what's going to win us the seats as well. Not just the seats, but it's our policies, Wolf.
The White House, as you know, Congresswoman, is looking to push other Republican-controlled states to redraw their congressional districts to strip away Democratic seats just ahead of next year's midterm elections. Do you support that? And if so, why is this a good thing for American democracy?
Well, let's take a look at Massachusetts. 40% of the state votes Republican. And how many Republican seats does Massachusetts have? 0. Let's take a look at Illinois. You want to talk about gerrymandering? Take a look at the Illinois map. And again, I know I keep coming back to this, but we didn't make the rules of the game. We're just playing for the first time in a long time by the rules of the game. And I'll share with you, the Democrats aren't used to us playing the same game they're playing. So, of course, they're uneasy and they're doing what's within their purview to make sure that they can fight, right? Disagreement isn't disloyalty. But again, I just keep going back to it. We didn't make the rules of the game. We're just, for the first time in a long time, playing by the rules of the game, and
but the rules of the game, Congresswoman, with all due respect, the rules of the game always traditionally have been after a census. Every 10 years, there's a new census in the United States. That's when you can redraw the districts based on where the populations have evolved to. This is a new deal now. In the middle will be, there's no decade new census now. They're just doing it now, Republicans. I don't think the Democrats have actually done it in advance so many years ahead of a new census.
Yeah, I wish you'd put up the Illinois map as well. That's a good map to show as well. But with all due respect, and I appreciate that argument, Wolf, is there's nothing that says we can't do it now. It's just we are doing it now. And President Trump, as you know, is bold, is aggressive, and he's playing within his purview. And that's it. He's not doing anything wrong. He's trying to right size what has been wronged for so long, right? Massachusetts, let's talk about Maryland, let's talk about Illinois. He's bold, he's aggressive, and he is going to fight for the Republican Party. That's his job, and that's exactly what he's doing. And I applaud him for doing so.
So you think Republicans are going to start doing this gerrymandering every year and not wait for a new national census to determine where the populations are?
You know, I don't know is the big answer, but we have to right size, whether it's right sizing the economy, right sizing jobs in America, bringing manufacturing back to America. President Trump is putting America first, and he's putting the Republican Party and making sure that the Republican voices are being heard. Yes, it's bold. Yes, it's aggressive. But that is exactly who the leader of the free world is. And I don't think he's going to apologize for that.
And he shouldn't apologize. Lisa McClain is absolutely right. And you know that Wolf Blitzer has to treat her with the kid clubs because they're so used to hitting hard on Republicans. Now it's backfired so badly that he now has to ask her and ask her better questions and let her speak. Okay? He has to do it now. He doesn't have a choice. And it's something that I've been longing to see. And you know what? We shouldn't apologize for what we're doing in Texas either. We have been playing a federal game against a stacked deck. Okay? We have to be card counters at the table now, and this is one of the ways we can get even. The House doesn't always win, you know. Republicans about 10 years ago would not have dreamed of ever doing anything like this because they kept on wanting to play fair on an unfair playing field. Essentially, the way I've always described it, we are playing baseball in a soccer field with a European referee. Okay? We are not equipped to play the game that they're forcing us to play, but now we're striking back a little bit. And I love what Lisa McClain specifically brings up. She brings up the state of Massachusetts. I'm currently just looking at state by state and sort of giving them a ranking based on gerrymandering. And basically what I'm noticing is that the Democrats are worse at gerrymandering than Republicans. And when Republicans do it, it's congressionally mandated. It's actual federal law based on the Voting Rights Act that, hey, when you have certain amounts of minorities, if you have a majority minority district, you need to give certain favoritism to that area so they can have guaranteed representation. It's not a very, very clear-cut issue. As a matter of fact, it's quite opaque. But the reality is, in the Republican areas in the South, where there's something called the Black Belt that sort of buckles itself at the Mississippi River and follows what's called the fall line all the way up into Virginia. And in these districts get sort of special congressional treatment in order to have more guaranteed representation in Congress. And so this is what the Democrats do. The Republicans are constrained by laws, and the Democrats, however, are not incentivized to help Republican districts. This is the map of Massachusetts. There are 9 representatives, okay, 9 areas. About half of Massachusetts, half of the countryside is rural. It's actually very pretty. It's part of that New England charm. Decent farming areas. But ultimately, you'd think that there'd be more Republicans out there. And yet there isn't a single Republican from the state of Massachusetts. Connecticut, same thing. They both have about anywhere between 38 and 42% of their vote going to Republicans. This is just, you can't tell me that this is normal, that this is natural. Something else either has to be afoot, or this just happens to be one big happy coincidence. And maybe it's tit for tat, but that's not the data I'm seeing. That's not the information I keep on picking up. What I'm seeing time and time again is Democrats will stack the deck. A better example is California. 52 congressional members, 52 potential seats, about 35% Republican. Let's do the math. Let's extrapolate the math just a little. All right, let's say it's 100. So 35% of 100 is 35. Well, now you get it down to 52. So essentially just make it easier for yourself. Let's just divide by 2. Okay, so you're dividing 35 by 2. You get 17.5. Well, let's just shave that off and say 17. So you think there'd be about 17 Republican seats, probably a few less, right? It's way worse than that. There's only 9 Republicans from that state. And now Gavin Newsom is threatening to redraw the maps. Not Gretchen Whitmer, although I wouldn't put it past her. Kathy Hochul is now talking about this. We have been playing a game, or again, the deck is stacked against Republicans almost by default, and now they're trying to up the ante on their side. That is how crazy the Democrats have become, and now that the Republicans dared to break rank and do something different for a change, and it's got everyone stark raving mad. And Wolf Blitzer knows that he can't ask tougher questions, because if he does, Republicans are going to say, nope, we're not dealing with your nonsense. We will depart from me. Depart from me. I never knew you. That's what's happening. So we're finally having the guts to fight back against a system that is intrinsically unfair. And the Democrats are going crazy. And so Lisa McClain is simply saying, hey, this is not illegal. As a matter of fact, we're giving more representation to Latinos, and they wanted to vote for Trump this go round. Okay. He won Texas by a record number, I believe. And we're seeing that more Black and brown Americans choose Republicans when they used to vote for Democrats. Because particularly the men are starting to see that Democrats don't like masculine people. They do not like men. All right? And so they're starting to see the nonsense. They're starting to realize, wait a minute. The Republicans are basically saying better economy, so I can own my own job, own my own business, have a better job, and maybe own a vehicle and a home as well? And you're saying that the Democrats, that's almost impossible in their states? Sign me up for the Republicans, man. That's all the GOP needs to do. That's all the MAGA movement needs to do is remind them, hey, we're offering you freedom of opportunity, better economy, and maybe, once we get around to it, a better education quality because you know what they're doing to your kids. That's what they're starting to realize, ladies and gentlemen, and it's got the Democrats going crazy. And I expect it's going to continue to escalate. I think things are about to get a whole lot crazier before they get better. But what's going on in Texas, I think, is a necessary thing. Republicans have to adapt. They have to take advantage of what has been given, and they need to take advantage of the laws that are on the books, just like the Trump administration has been doing with illegal immigration. This is a good thing, and I don't think the viewership around Wolf Blitzer will fully understand the message, but I believe y'all will. So folks, let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.